Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the bedroom that I never film in despite having all my books in here because it's terrible lighting. So, I apologize this video. I have like every single light in here that I could possibly have on. I have a bedroom with no windows, so not the best lighting in here, which is why I never record. Today, we are recording in here because we are going to do a little bit of a book organization, probably a little bit of an unhaul. I will go through and show you what we're working with beforehand. I want to go through and reorganize some areas. Usually every time I reorganize, I just kind of then out of habit find some books that I don't feel like keeping around anymore and end up getting rid of. So we'll probably do a little bit of an unhaul. Anything that I unhaul will be put on my Pango. It'll 100% be up there fully listed by the time this video comes out. My Pango will always be in the description if you want to look on there and see anything that I have up there if you want to buy secondhand. All my stuff is smoke-free house, great quality. If something's wrong with it, I will let you know in the posting itself. We're gonna do some bookshelf organizations and unhauls. I got two new bookshelves. One, my camera is currently setting on top. One thing about me, my shelves will never match. Bookshelves are expensive. So unless I just physically don't have the space for it, I'm never going to say no to a secondhand or a free bookshelf. The bookshelves that I have in here, the one you're sitting on is white. My romance shelves behind me are now at like an L shape, but I have two like tannish ones, but they're different colors tan. And then I have two tall brown ones that have all my fantasy shelves. My ones out in the living room are black and like brown wood and gold. None of them ever match. My TBR card is pink. None of them ever match. So I got a new one that you're sitting on top of that I'll show you in a minute that is just like a white cubby type shelf. And then I got off of TikTok. It was on sale. I got off a TikTok shop one of those like tall ones that spin that I put out in my living room. This behind me right now is all romance. I like to keep my romance books in here. Right now all that's in my living room is what I like to call my family friendly shelf. It's got thrillers, memoirs, all of that. Anything that if somebody started rifling through my books, I know they're not going to open to just a fairy smut scene. Most of my fantasy and pretty much all of my romance are in here. My romance shelf, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to change. I might just go through it and find some stuff in there to unhaul because I'm kind of running out of space on them. But I don't think much of my romance section is going to change. What we're really going to work on is a lot of my fantasy shelf. And then I'm also considering not getting rid of it, maybe retiring my TBR cart itself. I might make this new shelf a TBR area too, just because I live in a one-bedroom apartment that's fairly small. The cart's not in my way, but it would make this area look a little less cluttered if it wasn't here. That's kind of what we're working with, is I have some areas on my fantasy shelf that I kind of use to display my favorite books, and I have them kind of all the series together, and then kind of all the standalones just on a couple random shelves. I have moved some out to my spinny cart, but I might reorganize that area again. But yeah, we're just gonna go through and look at everything and reorganize and unhaul some. But I'll show you what we're starting with right now. So we have our romance, but I'll give you a little bit of a closer up of it. These are my little romance shelves that are kind of in a little corner. I have enough room to get my hand back there to get things out, but if anything, I might just go through some of these and unhaul some. Kind of running out of room over here, so maybe like a cubby or two of my newer shelf read a little bit of romance, but I'm not reading as many romance books. I have primarily been reading a lot of fantasy. I haven't read a lot of just romance books in a minute, so I also think I don't need a ton more room right now of romance. Is my two fantasy shelves. I have things stuck up to the ceiling. This is kind of in the corner of my bedroom. Don't mind my blankets I haven't put away. But this is all kind of fantasy series things. It looks a little bit empty right now because I've moved stuff out to the living room that I'll show you. This is what it looks like at the moment. The TBR cart that you guys see quite a bit. And then this is the new shelf that I just got. It's just like a white cubby shelf. What I'm initially thinking right now, this is also some TBR. I'm thinking right now to just make a little bit more room and be able to take the TBR cart apart is make this whole top section my TBR, either stack everything up and down like this or get like cute little bookends and do my whole TBR like long ways across the top. And then I might save like one bottom corner of this for some romance, because even though I'm not reading a lot, I still don't have that much room left on it. Using the rest of these for fantasy because that's what I'm reading the most of. But I'll show you what's going on out in the living room. This is the, as we've always dubbed, family-friendly shelf. If anybody snoops around and opens these books, there's no questionable sex scenes going on. It's also become where I put all of my plants that I want to make sure my cats can't eat. There's a cat right now enjoying the sun. I don't necessarily think much is going to change from this shelf. A couple things have been moved onto my new living room shelf, but I'm thinking now that even that's going to rearrange a little bit. But I don't think this is going to change much. This is my newest shelf edition. Can you tell I'm bedazzling another book? I got this off TikTok shop. It's like spins and everything. It holds quite a bit. I've ended up kind of doing like my favorite like fantasy-ish series and like some of my thriller series, or like I have a bunch of Holly Jackson, so I have like all of her thriller things on the same shelf, stuff like that. But even this, I'm thinking I might, now that I have that back in the bedroom, I might even put like Once Upon a Broken Heart and stuff like that back in there and make this kind of just more of like a thriller series high fantasy shelf. I'm kind of okay with this looks a little bit. I might put like maybe like Sky Hunter and stuff back in there. I think this is kind of gonna stay the same because like I like having, especially books where I have like special editions of, being out here where they are seen more. This might stay a little bit the same, but there might be a couple that I put back in the bedroom. That's what this new spinning cart is looking like, and I have all these cute little decorations. Ultimately, I'm trying to decide the vibe for this cubby shelf. I'm thinking one of two things. Either I put a bunch of my big favorite series that I have on display, I put those in here and use my big fantasy shelves for just kind of like all my random standalones and stuff. I use my fancy fantasy shelves as display only, and I put all of my like random standalone type books in here. I haven't decided. Also, I have moved this one over for now. My camera does not want to focus in here. Anyways, I'm thinking about doing another gallery wall in here of just kind of like book type things. I have up here like some book art and things, and I have on my fantasy shelf some more fan art and stuff for different books that I want to like frame and put above this shelf and do a gallery wall of book things, which I need to get a bunch more frames, and then any that aren't already gold, spray paint gold, because I like everything to be gold. So I kind of want to do another gallery wall like I have in my living room in here of just kind of like bookish related things. So I'm like, if I have a nice pretty gallery wall, do I do all of my like display books under here to match? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out, is what the vibes of this is going to be. So yeah, I had to figure out what my exact plan is for the shelf. I think right now I'm going to start by just cruising through my romance shelves and seeing if there's anything on there that I want to get rid of just to make a little bit more space. If not, I'll at least save one cubby or so of this for romance, but there might be a couple on there that I'm fine to get rid of, just to, because a lot of stuff I end up not reading again, especially on the romance books. So we'll start there. We'll go through this, maybe reorganize a bit, and maybe that will spark more of a plan for this cubby shelf. I think this shelf specifically is probably fine. This is kind of my romance display shelf. It has like all my Emily Henry, all my Abby Jimenez, all my Allie Hazelwoods. I think this one itself might be fine. It'll probably just be going through this one behind it, I think. Do I get rid of my Twisted series? Because I have never touched an Anna Huang after this, and I didn't think that these books were that great to begin with. I don't necessarily know if I will ever reread these again. I might unhaul these. So if you want Twisted Love, Twisted Games, and Twisted Hate, I'll probably list these on my Pango, along with, I think I'm going to get rid of Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. This is the second book. I don't even have the first one, and I haven't finished reading this series because I didn't think it was that great. I think at least these are going up so far. books to unhaul. Fair amount. It ended up getting me kind of this whole bottom shelf being open. Some more room on like my Emily Henry, Allie Hazelwood shelves, which is good. So if I don't end up saving a cubby on my new shelf, I think there should be a pretty good amount of room left on this shelf now. Stuff from my romance shelf that I'm going to be unhauling, so if you're interested in any of them, check out my Pango. Haunting Adeline. I hated this book. I will never touch it again, nor will I read the second one. So why have this giant thing taking up room on my shelf? One to watch. I read this. It was okay. I have no interest in reading it again. Same thing with Dating Dr. Dill. It was fine. Won't read it again. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I liked Red, White, and Royal Blue better. This was still good. LGBTQ romance book. This one does have a little bit of a bent cover, so I will make sure that's listed on Pango, and you know that now in case you're looking at it. But other than that, it's totally fine. Just wasn't my favorite story. I liked Red, White, and Royal Blue better. Summer Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. Wasn't for me. The Nanny by Lana Ferguson. I ended up not really caring for this. It's like he hires her as a nanny, but she's also like an OF worker, and it's just a smut and no plot, and I'm not a smut no plot person. There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall. I end up buying so many like Christmas romance books for like Christmas recommendations, and then I read them once and never touch them again, and they take up a ton of room on my shelf. I'm keeping a couple of them that like I genuinely like, but couldn't tell you anything about this book, and I'm never gonna touch it. The Duke and I Bridgerton book. I tried to read the Bridgerton books and I didn't care for them. This is the only one that I own, and I just don't really like them. This Spells of Love. This is, I think, maybe like a Halloween themed thing. I don't need this many like holiday themed books that I'm never gonna touch again. When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I'm keeping, I think, the other one, Practice Makes Perfect, because I liked that one better. This one I didn't care for as much. I'm then getting rid of all of my Anna Huang books. I have King of Wrath, and then all of the Twisted series. So I just have the first King book and then all of Twisted. I'm never gonna read these again. I don't even read Anna Huang anymore. There's like, I think 5 or 6 books in this series now, and I haven't read any of them. Don't have any care to. So all of my Anna Huang. And then I'm gonna get rid of Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. So also like at this point, all of Lauren Asher's books, along with like Elsie Silver, they're pretty much like all on Kindle Unlimited. And this is just like, when they write so many books and there's like 5 book companion novel series, I'd rather just have them on my Kindle, especially when it's kind of like I only like every other book. I just don't feel like I need to have all of these taking up so much space on my shelf, at least not right now. So that's also gonna go up. That is everything I'm unhauling romance book wise. I'm gonna look through my fantasy shelf pretty quick, but I don't think I'm gonna find anything on there that I want to get rid of yet, but I'll take a peek anyways. But as of right now, that's what we're getting rid of. I took a peek through my fantasy shelf. I just went through it a few months ago when I was moving stuff out there, so I don't have much. I think the only thing I'm gonna unhaul is Light Lark by Alex Astor. I didn't care for this, and I know I'm not gonna finish the series, so I don't feel like I need to have the first book on my shelf taking up space when I didn't like it, nor will I finish the series. So the only thing right now fantasy-wise that's going up is Light Lark. But I will go through, get all these listed on my Pango by the time this video comes out. So if you would like anything from this pile, the only thing that had a little bit of a bent cover was One Last Stop, but everything else is perfectly fine condition. So keep an eye out for those if you want any. My Pango is down below, as always. Oh, hi Addie. Do I have a good angle? Yeah? Hi. Sweet boy. Hey, you sit there and make sure I'm doing a good job, okay? Okay, what I think I'm gonna do next is if I want to put my TBR up here to get rid of my cart, and then if I want to stack it long ways or sideways. Because I just found 2 at a thrift store. If the camera's shaking, I apologize. Addie's like playing with it. I just found it at the thrift store. Also, I might need to shut that light off. It might drown stuff out. Okay, Addie, you're changing the whole angle now, babe. But I got at a thrift store this cute little peony basket, so I think even that would look cute up here, because I do like in my cart like my extra like stickers and like annotating things and like bookmarks and stuff. So I might even put all that in here and use this little basket for like annotating and bookmarks and stuff, and put like my reading lamps and everything in there. This is my Mothman that Lucas got me. He's so cute. Build-A-Bear Mothman. And I have some full series on here too, so I'll try and organize them. Maybe do like hardcovers into paperback, maybe? Addie, don't chew on the basket handle, please. This has been on my TBR for a while, and I've only seen people not liking it, so I'm kind of scared to read it. I don't like to unhaul things that I haven't read. Stop chewing on that. Hardcover, as long as it's not part of a series up there. And I'll try and arrange them by like height, maybe. Literal dust on them for being on my TBR for years. Like Ace of Spades, dust all over it. This still has, when I used to do paper TBRs, that still has a paper TBR thing in it. And I'm not kidding, been on my TBR for at least 2 years. I have not touched it. I only have one more Harry Potter book left. Are you helping? You're so helpful. Do not knock those on my head, please. Do not knock pile of big heavy books on Mama's head, please. I also have my first ARC that I haven't read. Hardcovers, let's try and do them by like height maybe. I think like all my book of the month ones are gonna be around the same height. So are you gonna be my bookend? I think Addie's gonna be my bookend to help me hold these up. Not even have enough room for me to do it this way. I might have to stack them. Or I do like hardcovers like this, and maybe do paperbacks stacked a little bit. I'm definitely gonna invest in some bookends. I'm just gonna have to put stuff here for now to keep it from tipping over. This is my TBR hardcovers. Yeah, that one's part of a series. And then we have TBR soft covers. Do I do the same thing of going to soft cover by height? Or should I intermix them all by height whether or not they're hard or soft? So to do my TBR no cart, if I want to lay them out like this, I do have to have some stack. Do I want to do it like that, or do I just want to stack them all? Because if I do it like this, I definitely need to get bookends, because I feel like they're going to tip. This also makes my physical TBR look so much bigger than when it was just piled on the cart. I think I might see what they look like stacked and then decide, because if I want to do a gallery wall, how high would I want them stacked? Like no taller than that? And I need bookends, they've already fallen. Like that. Because then I have a little bit more room to like put my basket and stuff, and like I have my holders. I don't think I mind this, having it set up like this, because it gives me a little bit of room to like put this, and I can lower you a little bit actually. I can use one of these lower spots for now as storage until I actually need to put stuff in it. That light kind of drowns you out, but it's also too dark to turn it off, so welcome to the bad lighting room. So we kind of have like 5 different shelves to go with. I think I'm going to look around and reorganize my fantasy shelf and see what piques my interest of maybe moving around. Because I'm almost thinking of maybe making like themed cubbies, if not putting a whole series, like, no. But I think I'm going to look around at my fantasy shelf and move things around and see if there's anything that piques my interest of moving somewhere else. Same thing without the living room, so we'll see what happens. lied. I'm unhauling 2 more fantasy books. I'm unhauling These Hollow Vows and These Twisted Bonds. I think there's a 3rd book for this out, I think, but I don't have any more interest in reading this, so I don't feel like keeping a unfinished series on my shelf that I'm not going to keep reading. So these will also be on my Pango if you're interested. Okay, so I went through and reorganized my fantasy shelf a little bit. Let me show you what I did, actually. So Akatar and Crescent City section is kind of the same. I kind of rearranged my Crescent City ones to display my cool fancy editions. This is kind of my whole, other than these, like my Hades and Persephone section. There's a 2nd book coming out fairly soon for the games God's Play, so I left a little space for the 2nd book. These are all like Greek mythology, Hades and Persephone things. These are just 2 little duologies. I think there's a 3rd book out for this, but I haven't read it yet or bought it. So that's that. This section is the Zodiac Academy books that I own, and then just kind of like my YA things. And then the one down on the very bottom, these are all my box sets. It's kind of the same as my Harry Potter, it's just all my box sets. This top hasn't changed either. I have original and new sets of Throne of Glass. I have kind of like my whole Powerless section and then my thrifted Harry Potter. This area has the most space right now. Duology I like, series I like. I have the rest of the Renegades books, but I haven't read them yet, so that will be a series. I'm trying to keep like series that I like together. This section is all standalones, or like I don't own the rest of the series, or like 50-50 on if I'm gonna finish them or not. So that's kind of this area. And then down here, other than a couple, is kind of just like my like middle school books and a couple random new ones, but those are kind of the same. I reorganized the shelf a little bit, but not a lot. I took a couple series off of here to put back inside that I'll show you in a minute, but this hasn't changed much. I've kind of just cleared off this bottom part again. So there's kind of like a shelf and a half empty-ish out here with room to like add to like R.F. Kuang, room to add to V.E. Schwab, room to add the rest of Mistborn. What I have picked out right now, those I'm going to put on Pango. I want to, I think, put my Red Queen series out here because I feel like this deserves a little bit more of its own space. I think I'm gonna move all of my Carrie Maniscalco books, so all of my like Kingdom of the Wickeds and everything. I think I'm gonna put them in their own section because she has another new standalone coming out at the end of the year, and I just am gonna run out of space for all of her books, and I want to keep them together. So I might put them on a shelf. I haven't read the Sirens, but I think I want to make a little like mermaid section, and I have these 2 right now, and I think they look so pretty next to each other. So I think I want to make a little section that's just kind of like mermaidy stuff. Find a bunch of mermaid books, and I might for now put it in the same shelf as my Once Upon a Broken Heart stuff, but I think I want to put them in their own area too. So like I don't think I'm gonna have enough to fill up this box, which is totally fine. I don't want to fill it up immediately. I think this is going to be kind of just little themed areas. I think that's what I'm going to go for now. A bunch of my like bookish arts and prints, including Avatar, that I want to find frames for so that I can properly like hang all this stuff up and make a little gold gallery wall that matches my one in the living room. Like this is my like living room gallery wall vibes. It's all just like gold framed stuff, and I want to do that but with like specifically bookish things above the new shelf. This, but everything book related-ish and or Avatar. That vibe into here. I just kind of have this as a placeholder. I might move it. For now, I might even go over to the wall at all. I have this one over the bed. I literally don't decorate my bedroom because I never spend any time in here because there's no windows. I think it's about time for me to actually decorate my bedroom and not just throw junk on the walls. I think I need to actually try and make it look cohesive. So, arrange these ones that I have picked out, and then I will show you guys and see how I feel about it. I think I like this for what it is. I just have some stuff stored down here, like my art and stuff that I need to find frames for. Put all these guys together so I can add more to her. And these go back pretty deep and pretty high, so I can always do like how I do on this shelf, where I stack them and then put them up. I have room to do that on these shelves too. But I put these guys together with my little crown, and then I'll have a whole kind of Carrie Maniscalco area. And then I want to find a bunch more mermaid books and add to here. If you follow me on Instagram, Lucas and I just went to Ren Fair and I was a mermaid, so I'm in my big mermaid era. I don't think the Sirens is actually about mermaids, but regardless if it's not, I'm going to put, whenever I finish this, I'm going to put it on this shelf because I think these sprayed edges would go really cute on that shelf. And I think I like it so far. I think I might end up making a separate video of me doing my gallery wall. As I go through it and finish it, I might do that as a separate video. Because I love decorating, and any excuse to make a video about decorating, I'm gonna do it. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. All I have to do at this point, I've already listed everything else on Pango. I just gotta add these on there. And yeah, I think I like this. I think I'm gonna leave this here. I will give you any further updates if I think I need them as I continue decorating. I think I'm going to officially take down TBR Cart. Say goodbye TBR Cart, sticker slapped TBR Cart, who's been here since the beginning of this channel pretty much. I'm not gonna get rid of this, I'm gonna keep this. I'm just gonna take it apart and like put it in my closet or something until I decide I want it again. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for enduring the bad lighting of the bedroom. I love and appreciate you guys so much. Following me anywhere, all my stuff is down below, including my Pango. If you guys are interested in seeing if any of the books that I unhauled today are still on there, there's a bunch on there. I eventually will take some of the older listings off and put them in little free libraries and things. But I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know if you have any other ideas for my shelving. If you have any mermaid book recommendations for my mermaid section, let me know. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next week or somewhere else on the internet. Bye.